What is up, Facebook world? We are doing another episode of the podcast with Bobby Beans. Throwing it down, little Facebook Live, little YouTube Live. I thought we'd switch it up and go Instagram Live, but it's complex. So I don't think we're actually on Instagram. We've been rocking it on Twitter, but we're having issues. Oh, now it gives us the option. Oh, we are. I'm glad you're here because now we're live on Instagram. You got to be a part of that. Instagram's a tricky one, folks. If you don't know, now you know. Instagram, be tricky. Jill, thank you for stopping out. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. Speaking of love, Higher Love. This right here would not be possible without the fine folks at Higher Love, the UP's finest dispensary by far. Am I biased? I don't think so, because if you lined it up and you blindfolded me, I would know which one was Higher Love's quality products. Shout out to them for making everything possible, being the sponsor of this show. Oh, stuff's falling. Sorry about that. That's not your fault, Higher Love. That is actually the Flower Pot's fault. Shout out to the Flower Pot, today's studio sponsor. They were also the pre-game pre-roll sponsors. So that is definitely kicking in effect here. Appreciate everyone stopping out. Hey, baby. There it goes. All right, folks, I do have a special guest to join us tonight. Real quick, we got the big shout out going down tonight. We got a huge opportunity. It's going to take some help from you guys. But as far as creating awareness, I don't think anything cooler or more spectacular could go down. So I'm going to need you guys' help. We need to get to 100 viewers live. So I'm going to need some help. Tag your friends. Once we get to 100 viewers live, we're at 14 right now. We usually get warmed up to about 40, 50. If we hit 100, we're going to drop it. Please tag your friends. We got some exciting news. Great opportunity. But without further ado, other than fixing my camera. Woo! Look at that. The ugly dude. Woo! Shout out to gentlemen joining me tonight. We got a special guest. We'd like to do secret stuff once in a while. This is a secret. We've got a guest. His name is Snake Eyes. Woo! What up, Snake?
What's up? How's it going? About time I get invited to this nice green room. Got all these leaves floating around everywhere. I love it. Love it.
Right, bro. You just got to be careful, though. They sneak up on you, man. You pack a bowl or something, they pack a little extra punch. You know what I'm saying?
That's fine by me, man. I'm a former pro wrestler. I can handle that.
He can. Dawn, thanks for stopping out. Fellas, ladies, hello, says Todd. Big supporter. Dustin in the house. What's up, buddy? We will connect at some point, Dustin. Talk about a text tag game. We did terrible today, Dustin. I blame both of us, though. It was definitely a two-sided deal. Great day to have a great day. Absolutely. Thanks for stopping out. Again, as soon as we get to 100 followers in the view, what are these called, bro? I'm so new to all this. 100 viewers live. Yeah. There you go. 100 viewers live. Oh, look at your backdrop. Let's legalize. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you like that? I told you I was going to have a whole setup for if you needed me to hop on and look all professional, you know.
Well, you say a lot of stuff.
I got to match you over there. Yeah, well, and I follow through too, don't I?
He does. So, yes, if you can share this video, it looks like Dakota shared. That'll get us a couple extra views. We're up to 22. Woo, we're getting close. I better make sure my screen is ready. We're going to do a screen share to share this big, exciting news. And I think it looks pretty good. I am going to double check the spelling. You know, if you're new to this program, please rest assured, nothing is spell check guaranteed. I appreciate the help from all the supporters. I would say spelling is my biggest flaw. I have a lot of flaws, but I'm going to double check here. That looks right because it's a logo, so that should be right.
I would hope so.
I spelt it the same way they did in the logo. Okay. Yeah, I think it's good, bro. I think it's good. Awesome. Oh, we're up to 27 views. Uh-oh. We might be doing this announcement quicker than 28. All right. So real quick, we're going to just recap what happened today while we wait to get a couple more viewers in here. But just wait. We're not done getting our thirst quenched. Let me tell you, folks, the drinks, the sponsors, the people out there, balanced. Whoo. You want to know the ingredients in this one? Check this out. As I spill it, what an idiot. God dang it. The ingredients are carbonated water, agave nectar, organic lime juice, natural orange extract, natural watermelon flavor, natural watermelon extract, sea salt, tetraeteric acid, maleic acids, a very minute amounts, which every drink has, and hemp-derived delta-9. They talk about beautiful. This
You
one,
can actually pronounce all of those ingredients.
hey, that's a good start. Watermelon margarita. Seriously, bro? Seriously? And only 6 grams of carbohydrates. Delicious. These guys are
Nice.
unbelievable.
Nice.
And they are.
Yes.
Oh, we got a question for Snake Eyes popping up in the comments.
Oh.
I wonder if Snake Eyes likes the strain Cobra Lips.
Never tried it, but I'm if you know where to find it, I'll hunt it down. That sounds yummy. I know there was a couple of those wax butter things at Green Thumb today. One was called Cobra something.
Okay.
I should have picked that up. I should have picked it up.
You should have. You're slipping. What up, Matty, with the point of change? Shout out to Matt. He's going to be on Wednesday's episode. He's got an awesome story. Super proud of this guy. Can't wait to hear the story. I'm waiting to really get the full story, sharing it live so we get the best content and get the best, just vibe. Sounds like he's got a story that's going to really kind of set the tone for the different things that cannabis can do, which we all know. But it's really cool. Really looking forward to that. So that'll be Wednesday night. Friday night, working on getting situated with the grow operation so that we can just get a little more in depth on the growing side of things. So got a few things in the works there. We're at 34 viewers. Once we get to 100, we're going to be sharing the big news. And again, get excited, but it's going to take, you guys are going to have to help. It's going to be, if we make this happen, whew, Snake knows a little bit about it. Snake, if we make this happen,
it's going to be, I can honestly say it'd be something that I never dreamt would be possible in my lifetime. So,
right.
I mean, I'm all for it, dude. I'm 2 legs already too deep in the water, man. So we're gonna pull this off.
We are. It's gonna take everybody. Oh, Peter Swan in the house. What up, Swan? Dude, that I can swear. That just Pete has good flour. If you're in Pewaukee, and Pete's an awesome guy.
You know who else has really good flour?
Ooh, who's that?
The place we went today, the Green Thumb Alternative in Stevens Point.
Bro, you're not kidding.
Fire, dude.
So do you believe? Hey, so you would probably have been a naysayer a couple weeks ago on this whole THCA thing, correct?
1,022%.
Right. And would you say that the flower you got from Green Thumb's Alternative today, labeled as THCA flower, could now? Don't get me wrong. Maybe it's not the most potent strain you've ever had, but did it taste or did it affect you like something you'd be getting from Michigan?
So I purposely did not wake and bake, which was hard to do. And I drove for about 4 hours today, just so if I did smoke some, I could give a full and honest opinion. And you know, it's super close to the same thing. It just minus the whole. You don't get that whole you're kind of out of it high. It's a real nice, just mellow headspace. And it was a good hour and a half, and I took 1 bong rip. That was it, 1. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, THCA flower, you don't spray it or nothing. I mean, you got to look at it close up. Did it look funky to you?
No, looking at a piece right now, it looks pretty yummy to me. It looks like the real deal. Like I couldn't tell the difference. I wouldn't be able to notice.
Right.
Like I said, it's not as hard hitting as like, a normal psychoactive high would be with the Delta 9. So
well, real quick, I now just realized we should probably put a little banner on here that tells people what we're doing so that in case they're scrolling through, they know to stick around. 100 followers equals big announcement. Oh, God. Somebody help me out. How do you spell announcement? Announce.
A-N-N.
Yep.
O-U.
Yep.
N-C-E-M-E-N-T.
Is it really? I got it on the first try, I think. All right, 100 live followers, viewers. Damn, see, I keep getting them mixed up.
Man, you're making me think today a lot, sir.
Bro, that's what's up. 100 live viewers equals the big announcement. We're up to 48. We're halfway there. Oh, shit. It's about to go down.
Oh, we're halfway there. Announcement on the way.
I hope you don't sing, bro. That was terrible.
Nope, that's why I rap, dude.
Oh, look at that. We got a bottom feed ticker thing.
Oh,
They call me ESPN, bro.
Right.
Dalton, we're doing pretty good tonight. We got a chance to stop out and meet the fine folks over at Waldo. I'm reading Waldo's comment. Damn it, Waldo. Well played. The fine folks over at the Green Thumb Alternatives. Wait, that's right. Green Thumb
Yep.
Alternatives. Yeah, in Stevens Point. And yeah, fine folks. We've got people. Well, they spelled the announcement for us. We did spell it right, bro. Look at that. We are good. We do have another establishment added to the list for trusted THCA flower. And again, that's going to be the folks over at the Green Thumb Alternative. For some reason, it's way harder to remember than I thought it was going to be. I see it 100 times a day. They're very active on social media. Wow, look at all these fine folks that spelled announcement for us. 1,
Hey, man.
2,
Teamwork makes the
3,
dream work.
4,
Yes,
5,
sir.
6, 7. They know how bad we are, or how bad I am. Point of change.
So that also means that they're going to help us out with this announcement.
Definitely, dude.
I have faith in the people.
Miss you too, D Money. Halfway there, we're at 52. We got this. I like THCA, says Daniel. Very slightly less psychoactive effects than D9. I've been consuming cannabis for over a decade as a regular user. That sounds right, because yeah, if we're doing it by the law, you're probably gonna your Delta 9 content is so not important in your high that you're gonna get very similar effects. But the super potent stuff, I think, is some people that are maybe cooking the books a little bit. Oops, Waldo shared on the business page. Appreciate that. Happy Monday. Ron has found some potent THCA. I'm not gonna lie, dude. The Tab E's, as far as online ordering goes, you can get the Zaclair now. That was probably the cleanest smoke I've had that I might have ever known. Oh, bro, you know what?
There.
Johnny Lenius, yo, check out this announcement, Lenius. Lenius, you're gonna like this. You know what? I can't wait anymore. I don't know about you.
You breaking the ice? You breaking the rules?
I'm breaking the ice. So
right.
When it comes to Christmas, dude, I'm the worst at being able to hang on to the gifts till Christmas. I love when I see something and I'm like, oh, that's gonna be perfect. Dude, I can't. It's just I'm excited. So we got a little bit of an announcement. Ah, I knew I wasn't gonna make it. My wife said, I bet you don't even get to 60 viewers before you pull it. We're at 44. We're gonna do it out. We're gonna do it. Oh, we got Hey Bobby Beans. You should check out Smoke Claire Tobacco in Eau Claire. Let's add that to the list. Smoke Claire.
Eau Claire was one of the cities we were talking about today too. Wink, wink.
Smoke Claire. Wink, wink. Smoke Claire. I see what they did there. Kind of like podcast and podcast. Yeah. Smoke Claire. We're adding to the list to check out. Christy, most of the THCA is going to be right around exotic. So really good indoor is probably going to be, you're going to be right around the 15 a gram. Is a very solid price. Trisha, check this out. All right, guys, I can't wait anymore. We're going to get a little, does Facebook, can I do 10 seconds of a song without getting thrown in jail?
Normally.
Normally. Okay, let's test something out. If I play music, okay, this has nothing to do with it. This is just a sample to see if music comes through on there. I don't know if it does or not. So give me 1 second. We're just going to play a random song. We could play the podcast with Bobby Beans on Spotify. That'd be cool. How about a little T Swift to get your day going? Here we go.
Yeah, I like
all right.
that.
Do you guys hear anything right now? Just sing it. That would be terrible. No, we're not going to sing. Johnny, don't be making fun of me. Rick, what's up, buddy? Dude, your sweater came in and I need a haircut. Let's do it. Let's make a swap. Bro.
Oh, snap.
Hit me
the
up.
Old barter system.
Yes, sir. All right. No, they can't hear T Swift. All right. How am I going to? Oh, here. What if I turn this up? Oh, okay. Hang on. Do you hear T Swift?
Oh, Jesus. Hey, I know how to play that song. It's very overwhelming.
Wait, you hear it?
It sounds like you're under a swimming pool.
No, we're gonna try this. What the swimming pool, bro? All right, here we go. Here comes the announcement, y'all. This is gonna take work from every single one of you to try and pull this off. Actually, speaking of that, I got to add one thing before we do this so that we know a little more detail.
While you do that, hold on. While you do that, Just so people watching are aware, I am working on the Discord server. I got kind of the general template down for now. Just gonna run through a couple of subcategories, and we're gonna have a whole virtual smoke sesh room where people can just hang out and chat and talk if they're bored at home. We're gonna have like a meeting room, so like if there's something that Bobby needs to do video communication wise, there's a private video chat room. So anybody in here that's trying to do business or whatever, we can all just meet up in there. Um, there's gonna be a whole thing about dispensaries. I'm gonna do my weed reviews as a subcategory. We're gonna have areas you can look up laws and find anything that you might need if you got pulled over, you need help finding an attorney, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to build up like this big database for everybody because it's gonna be such a great tool if something would ever happen to the Facebook page for some reason.
Well, yeah, it's a good. Haven't heard of any of those getting shut down. So discords for cannabis. So that's what's awesome. Three Tall Pines does have some very good smoke as well. Heath,
Facts.
their grow is on point. It's 420 somewhere. Let's go Discord. Oh yeah, Snake Eyes. Can you explain who you are real quick? Great, thank you, Waldo.
Oh,
I knew
sure, no
I
problem.
skipped that part. That's on me. That's on me.
Well, currently I'm a photographer. I used to do professional wrestling since 2001, started from my backyard, uh, all the way up to traveling from Minnesota and back on the weekend scenes. I've been doing music since the day I turned 21. I've opened up for just a plethora of names from Call Me Charisma and Justin Stone to metal bands like Versus Me and Madame Mayhem, just the spectrum of music. And now I'm here to help Bobby with some content on this page and take a little bit of his load off because it's kind of overbearing when you have a project this overwhelming. So I've been advocating for marijuana legalization since before it was cool in Colorado to do so. So I think this is my spot. I found my home and I'm ready to let's legalize Wisconsin.
We're glad to have you. And again, we so Snake Eyes, we actually met over a little bit of a beef. Maybe a little bit of a
Facts.
beef. I
I came in aggressive. I was a little
He
aggressive.
came in a little hot. I might have chickened out when so that one night when this all kind of first started, we were only a couple weeks in. One night I was a little more elevated than I thought I was going to be, and I don't know. I was just like my passion and this whole idea of this movement, and I'm like, oh, they always say you should put it down on paper, your thoughts and stuff. So I'm just kind of writing, and next thing you know, I'm like, bro, what if I wrote a rap? Like that would just make sense, because poem sounds boring. I don't know how to rap, but to me, it was just like, let's write a rap. So I write this stuff down, and I'm kind of reflecting on it the next day, super sober, and I'm like, that kind of, I mean, that's a rap, you know. And so then I put on the page that I was going to share the rap, blah blah blah. Long story short, the rap live definitely was the poem reading because I was so nervous that I did not want to make myself. I'm cool being the brunt of a joke. I'm cool being the the goofball. As long as it gets the point across and it helps the movement, I'll do whatever it takes as long as it's legal. Well, I guess within reason. Anyways, so long story short, I'm like, hey, join the rap tonight. Da 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 da. The time comes for me to do the rap, and I'm completely like, I can't rap. These people are making me nervous. I'll just read it to them. Well, Snake Eyes happened to be passing by, who's a rapper, and of course, he left just a nice little note like, "That wasn't really a rap, bro." And I'm like, "Hey, man, all right, I tried. I worked on the notes, this, that, the other." But he was super cordial about it. He wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. I planned on it being a rap, but I decided for everybody's interest and everybody's sake, I would skip the rap. And I think it worked out though because we started a little conversation. Here we are, pretty dope. So Snake Eyes did help with our first event. He was the one that he's like, "Hey, I'm opening for Cottonmouth Kings down in Cudahy," and I was like, "Bro, what if we could figure out something?" So that started the whole shirts. That was our first big event. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool story as to how we got
you
here. So,
mean you mean the shirt?
ooh, yeah, those were the shirts we threw out. Yes, sir. This guy don't mess around, dude. I love it. Appreciate you, Snake Eyes.
Hey
Speaking
man, I
of
appreciate you,
which,
Bobby Beans.
that event brought some attention to the movement. Uh, D Loke of Cottonmouth Kings, I was like, hey, man, it'd be really cool if you just give us a little shout out or something. He's like, go for sure. So it's pretty neat. Talked to a lot of people there as far as performers and also some promoters. And anyways, we've got a pretty neat situation here. Heath says, first time checking this out. Heath, welcome home, bro. This is where it's at. This is one of the coolest things around, man. Just these people are awesome. Shout out to my dad, Bob Sr., top of the
What
evening,
up,
boss.
Pop?
What up, dude? Susie, hello. Susie's here. All right, we can get the announcement out the way. We're getting rid of this banner. I can't wait to 100. You guys are taking too long. It's on you. Hide the current ticker. Boom. Ticker's gone.
Boom.
Announcement time. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Why am I doing that song? I don't really
Can't have a
know.
drum
Drum
roll.
roll. Brrr. All right, we're gonna do this with a little music. Oh wait, I gotta get my screen ready. Share screen. Okay, don't share until I'm ready. Entire screen. Share.
Pwah.
Did it! Oh, damn it! I knew I was gonna do that, bro. God dang it! I should have known.
That's pretty.
And the audio's not working now. What in the Sam hell? How did that go so south so quick? Where else can you get entertainment like this? So Taylor Swift blares out of my speakers, but Cottonmouth Kings I can't get to play. We have an
Do you want?
opportunity to have a Cottonmouth Kings Let's Legalize Wisconsin tour. I'm thinking this would be, when I'm looking at the state, I'm thinking Marinette, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Madison, Stevens Point, Wausau. I don't know, but the amount of awareness we'd be able to bring to legalization, because I think one of the biggest things is, like, I feel like if Voss's medical bill was still out there and we didn't start to come together as a movement, because I even saw it yesterday when I was at the flower pot, or the other day when I was at the flower pot. Somebody walks in and they're like, "Oh, so is this illegal marijuana?" It's like, bro, no. What are you talking about? Well, I saw in the news that medical is legal now, bro. No, don't read just the headlines. Like, and that bill
Right.
is terrible. So, long story short, if we're talking about getting the people together and gaining voices, getting traction, I don't think there's a better partnership out there. There is a lot of opportunity to be had. I reached out to a couple different, well, we did actually, because we were in the car today, coming back from Stevens Point. We've got a couple of venues that are ready to rock. We've got a couple sponsors ready to rock. We need to try to figure out 7 days of just music and cannabis being okay out in the public, as far as events go. When we were at that event in Cudahy, I mean, that was awesome. That was so cool.
What up,
Um,
Sean? He was at that event right there, Sean. He was
oh
front row
shit,
jamming all
that's
night
what's
long,
up,
man.
dude. That's what's up. Um, just it was so neat, and we're all passing around joints, and so that part we might have to leave out with the establishments. They might not. I mean, we want to check with them, but we'll wait till we get there. I think they're also going to know that that's how the Cottonmouth Kings roll. Um, but we'll see how it goes. So again, what we need right now is I'm trying to figure out. I need contacts to venues. If your venue can hold 150 to 200 people, if more, even better. Um, we need to try to figure out. It sounds like we've got a place potentially down by Milwaukee in the X-Ray Arcade. I got to hear back from them, but obviously that's where the show was that we were at. We got to find a place in Green Bay, the Epic Center. I did get back to them, so we'll see what they say. Marinette, I think it was R&S Saloon. I got to
I
see
believe so, yeah.
if I sent them an email as well. We need some connections, folks. We need some help. Technically, everyone here is like an ambassador of the movement. If you know somebody, or if you can just send a quick message like, "Hey, Cottonmouth Kings are looking to come to Wisconsin. Can we throw an event there?" If you can just get it in, and then if somebody says, "Oh, we'd be interested," I can take care of reaching out in that. It's just right now I'm calling a lot of places and leaving a lot of messages. So any help with that would be completely awesome. The it was a glorious concert to be at, man. It was really peaceful. There was a lot of talk of family, love. It was beautiful, man. It was way cool. I think we got a couple openers that could work with that as well. No, I wouldn't even call them openers. I'd call them like supporters, bro. Because when Snake Eyes is up there, dude, like everybody was kind of showing their passion for cannabis, dude. I was like, well, I was also smoking some Three Tall Pines new strain, so but I was like, when you were singing that something about Mary, I was just like, bro, this dude is like a professional. I was loving it, dude. It was way cool.
Hey, man,
Uh,
that's just a master at crafting his set, dude. I've been taking this seriously for a long time. I mean, I don't like being called a local. I know I'm still a local act, but I carry my worth, and if I'm gonna be justified to being local, then whatever. I'll carry the state of Wisconsin on my back. I'm down with that.
That's what's up, dude. Well, and so guys, if you're shooting a message, if you don't mind, if you can reach out to Riverside, I think I shot the. Oh no, I couldn't figure out the right Riverside on Instagram because nobody has their information to
And it
message
has
them
to
on
be a
Facebook.
feasible venue. It can't be like a 2,000 person thing. Like we're looking for a nice medium sized venue. You know what I'm saying?
We want
And
to
not
know
a
the
bunch of
people.
seats.
Yeah, we want to be able to hang out with one another. Yeah, no seats. It's just kind of a fun. So the awesome thing is we've got a lot of sponsors that I've already talked that they'd want to be able to help out with it, and I think it'd be a great opportunity for us to interact with the sponsors because again, a lot of these places they don't even have to be worried. They don't have to be pushing for legalization if they were just in this for the money. They've got a sustainable business going right now, and if that's all they were about, they would just be cool, chilling back, not sponsoring stuff to help push the movement to legalize. So again, that's one of the things that's always tied me together with the people, with the music. Cannabis is just beautiful, man. It really is. It kind of you forget about a lot of the bullshit in life, you know. And I think that's what that would be the best way to describe the concert that we had that night. It was just it was just chill,
I've
not an
been
upset
I've
person
I've
inside.
I've done a lot of shows in the Milwaukee area, and that one honestly was probably the easiest, most like professionally ran show I've done down there. So like props to the DRP and Force 5 Records for all that because they nailed that show out of the park, man.
Right? And DRP is actually who would be involved with this event as well. So shout out to them. Yeah, that was it, dude. When I the whole lineup, even your kind of smaller acts to start and everything, it was just like it was fucking awesome. It was just so cool. And I told you, dude. I told you that night. I said we need to do more of this, right? And
And the first thing
uh,
I said was, "I'm on board, Captain."
right, and then I just couldn't believe it when I got the call. So again, we're looking to try to figure out a few things this week so that we can lock things down and make this a thing. I don't think there's a better way to help create awareness right now because especially when you're talking multiple venues on one day, it's hard to figure out cannabis friendly establishments. That's where with Lebowski Fest, we're kind of starting to open the door here in Green Bay. I know obviously like Madison, Milwaukee, even La Crosse, they're a little more open to cannabis events. So really looking forward to the Lebowski Fest to kind of open the door in Green Bay here. And excuse me, but again, to try and coordinate an event, I don't think there's anything better than music. And we're talking this traveling event. I mean, this could just be huge. Really looking forward to it and seeing what we can come up with. We got Rothschild Expo Center. That sounds neat. A great way to forget about the outside bowl, right? Just a week of happiness. Like, love that Canada went fully legal for cannabis. Bro, maybe we could do a Canada tour to celebrate.
I'm not allowed in Canada.
Oh, whatever. I can only
I have a
imagine.
DUI. They ain't gonna let me over
Oh,
the border.
really?
Yeah, off of
Oh my.
marijuana, oddly enough.
Wow. I would have never guessed.
Which funny
Troublemaker.
because my entire police record is nothing but weed charges. So I mean, I'm pretty much like almost the perfect advocate for legalizing in this state. Like, dude, if it gets legalized, you can clear everything off my record, and I will be a picture perfect citizen. To be honest with you, like,
Right?
it's
Uh,
so foolish.
so hang on. I want to make a quick little list of some of these places that we're thinking. Eau Claire, because what we want to do is make sure that the venues that we choose, we're going to have enough support out there to fill the seats for the sponsors. Um, so I want to make sure we'll do like a little poll. So if you think your town would be a good spot to host us and you think you can help us fill some seats, probably going to be what, $25 a piece, nothing crazy. Probably be looking about 150, 200 tickets. We got Eau Claire, Green Bay. And again, what would be a good coordination across the state? I think that so like Marinette, I think that'd be
Like a
great
good
to reach.
route, yeah, and everything's got to make sense too. So like when we book this, the routing's got to make sense to where we're not doing a zigzag applesauce across the state. You know what I'm saying? Like we would try to just kind of ride that nice little borderline all the way around the state and then kind of finish in that Milwaukee, like Geneva, Madison area. So I think that's a perfect final endpoint, to be honest.
Right, a good search.
Madison would
Uh,
be perfect.
oh yeah, Madison. I'm
And
sure
that'd be right around
Milwaukee.
420. Oof.
Little pre
Yes, sir.
420. Shoot.
Yes, sir.
We got float eight. What is? How do you say that one, Richard? Float floated in Somerset. Where the hell is Somerset? I learned so much on this podcast. I never plan on it, but like, you guys got fancy words like Somerset. Now I can't even say it right.
I'm pretty
Somerset.
sure I went and seen Slipknot there. Not that place, but in Somerset. I'm pretty sure, but don't quote me.
Okay, we won't quote. Fond du Lac Fairgrounds, is that covered? I feel like we need to definitely be covered for this event.
I
Fond
mean,
du Lac.
you would think most of the grandstands, or not grandstands, but like band shelters, you would think most of those. I mean, that's a pretty good idea too. Just do a whole bunch of fairgrounds. But remember, it will be mid-April, so we might still be dealing with colder temperatures. We could be dealing with snow still. So I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if fairgrounds would be open for that because of all the tire tracks we would leave and everything.
Well, yeah. So ideally, it would be a smaller indoor venue.
That's
Just
what I would
again,
do. Like
just
immediately.
because we could get there, and Wisconsin, man, it could be a hurricane for all we know. It's usually how it goes. We've got a listening session real quick. Let's make sure we get that on there. In Seymour, Representative Schmidt is Friday 10:30 to 2:30 at the Seymour Library. Good, good. Appreciate the heads up. Let's see what other places we had listed here. Fond du Lac Fairgrounds, maybe the Rothschild Expo Center. I was going to put that for Wausau area. Rothschild Expo Center. Again, if you are able to contact any of these folks just to see if they would be open to a Let's Legalize Wisconsin Cottonmouth Kings tour and being a part of it, I can take care of the details and everything. If you can just try to help me find a couple people that can figure that out. As far as the places to talk to. Oh, what do we got here? Rothschild Pavilion. They have the Blues Fest or Blues Cafe there every year for the past over 20 years. Great place to have a venue. Awesome. Is that covered? Is a school in that area? Go to check distance. Got to check distance. Okay, I will check that out. They're not too far
Have
down
to, yeah.
We've got Float Right. That's a place. Where was that for again? Float Right.
That was in the Somerset one, I think you said.
We'll do that because this other one I think was the outdoor venue. Float. Why did they spell it like that? That's interesting. Oh, Manitowoc. I did send a message out to what's that place called that everyone
The
talks
Wharf.
about? The
The
Wharf.
Wharf.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the big venue out there. It's very nice. Snow in April? Yes, it's possible. My daughter was born in April. I know all about April weather.
Real quick here, Susie OB Browse House.
No,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
that's
Uh,
that stage is so small, and like, don't get me wrong, I like the venue, I like the setup, I like their sound system, I like their lighting, but literally their stage is just a 3 foot strip of wood around their DJ booth. For the Cottonmouth Kings, they have a backdrop, they have a giant bong that goes on stage, and you got four dudes that are jumping around on stage crazy. They ain't gonna have no room to jump around. Like, we need to find a solid stage, you know what I mean? Like a solid area otherwise, you know what I mean?
right. No,
Because I,
definitely.
I immediately said OBs, and then I realized how small that stage was, and I told Bobby, I'm like, never mind, that wouldn't work.
Yeah. So good idea, but we're gonna probably have to swing that off the list for now. Green Bay Riverside Ballroom Marinette. So yeah, that was RNS. I think I sent them a thing as well. So I will look to see from them tomorrow. Also got a pretty cool phone call. I called that one gentleman back that called while we were driving. Sounds like Afroman wants to do a collaboration with Let's Legalize Wisconsin, which would be way cool. So stay tuned for that. Shout out to that was Dustin, I believe, was the gentleman who was thinking that. So see what we can figure out there. We've got Madison. What was the venue in Madison? Does someone know?
The annex.
That's what it was. And we're waiting to hear from them. Milwaukee.
I can contact Justin at the rave, like I said, for
Oh,
that
right on.
side stage
Perfect.
area. 'Cause that's where I opened up for Saint Dog of the Cottonmouth Kings. So I mean, it's a perfect size room.
That sounds like it would be a good
I'm gonna
fit.
write that down right now.
Right on. Appreciate it. What's my thoughts too? Even in illegal states, you cannot sue in public. That is correct for the most part. Hemp is a very open ended situation, which is what all the products that would be supplied will be considered. because we are obviously got to be compliant with that. So again, looking really forward to this potential opportunity. We wanted to know if you guys would be interested in it. If so, please start tagging your friends so that we can show the sponsors that we've got enough traction to make this worth everyone's while. Um, Again, not just the time, the fun that we could have at the concert, the bonding we could do, getting to actually meet each other in person, that kind of stuff, but the awareness. I just feel like it would be huge, especially a tour. Like what? That just I don't know. It took me by surprise. So that would be way cool. Let's see if we can make this happen. Heard of Club Five in Madison could work. I'll put that down to check out. Club Five sounds nice. Sounds nice. Sounds
Well,
clean.
as there's another place down there called Club Liquid. I performed there. That's a very nice venue. I opened up for Mayday down there.
Mayday.
Yeah, Mayday from Tech Nine's record label.
Oh, yep, yep. That was which location?
Liquid down in
Or
Madison.
Madison. Cool. I'll add them to the list.
They had a
Liquid.
giant screen that they let us use as our backdrop. So I was like, dude, just put some EDM style shit on there, make it all tripped out.
Dude, that's
It
what's up.
was
Exactly.
trippy, man. It looked pretty cool on stage.
What's up, ganja lovers? Appreciate you swinging out. Appreciate you swinging by. So yeah, stay tuned. We're hoping to figure out a few things this week. Sounds like we got a few bands to support it, including the gentleman to my right. Well, actually, now you're underneath me. Wow, we're gonna pause that out or whatever they say these days. Snake Eyes is my bro, so we'll leave it there. Won't happen in Wisconsin. What does this say? Carl says won't happen in Wisconsin. Want to get high that bad? You're going to have to move to Michigan or Illinois. Never gonna happen here. Carl, I suggest you stop back in about a month, and let me know what your thoughts are on that. There, fine, sir. There's no reason it shouldn't be legal. The only reason it's not legal is because of the Republican stronghold. I've voted Republican plenty in my past, so I don't go by, oh, I was raised to be this party. I go by who I feel I would trust, or who sounds like they're going to actually do what they say they're going to do. I've voted for both sides of the aisle when it comes to presidents before, but I can tell you that the Republicans are an issue. But I can also tell you that from the connections I've made at the Capitol and just the feelers I have out there, it sure seems to only be one or two Republicans who are standing in the way. And I think there's going to be a couple that are going to be speaking maybe on podcasts or something in the very near future to show their support for legalization. So, again, it's going to have to be methodical. There's no reason it shouldn't be allowed here, though, Carl. If you can give me a reason, let me know. I'd be interested to see what your take is on that. If I go, Tammy says, I will be bringing my own supply to partake. Hemp or any edibles do nothing for me. Yes, bring your hemp. I'm digging in for a multi-year fight if necessary, right? We'll do what it takes. Dang, Denver, even at the 420 event, no consumption. What? That's weak. Come on, Denver. I feel
Yeah,
like
right.
I feel like you could probably figure something out in Denver, but what do I know?
Right. And kind of like how you said that, you voted Republican and there's a couple of Republicans that seem to be kind of dragging their feet on this. Like that hurts my soul too, because I'm kind of more conservative leaning, but I'll listen to both sides and I don't do no tribalism style crap. But yeah, that it
Right.
hurts my soul that Republicans don't want what's best for the people, isn't even though that's kind of what they're supposed to do is what's best for the people.
Right. Well, and so that's the thing is, we don't quite, to understand the whole political thing. The reason even somebody could try to sit me down to explain politics, and I will always say I never understand it because it doesn't matter what you show me on a chalkboard or in a textbook. How are Trump and Biden our options for president? If you
Yeah, it's
got one
weird.
good reason, then I'll talk politics. There is no good reason that we are stuck with these two people to vote for president. I'm sorry. Maybe I mean, I think everyone does some good or does good. Maybe they do more good than they do bad. And not even just talking good and bad, but just as far as like decent human beings, individuals who are with it, can pay attention, have a memory span. Like it just, I don't know. I just don't understand it. RFK Jr. is another option. That's correct.
See, and
Definitely
I think they
true.
go in with good intentions, but then there's just so much bullshit that's thrown at them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that that bears down after a while, and then after a while, you're like, screw it, just give me the money. Like
Right.
I just have a feeling like they all go in with good intentions, and then, and I mean, look how old some of these people are too, man. Like, you can't, you got to
And
change. Like,
nothing
you got to start
against,
voting on the youth.
right. Well, nothing against, people that are older, but like, bro, enjoy your life at this point. Like, why would you be in the spotlight? Well, and I guess maybe that's why there's not better options that run for it. But either way, it's ridiculous. It's, in my opinion, it's just crazy. But they're all crooks, says
See, and
William.
like what James, well, and James right there, it says hopeful that Evers will do it. Wasn't that what he ran on like 6 years ago, that he was gonna try to legalize marijuana, and nothing ever came of that either?
Well, but see, this is what I'm learning is because the Republicans have the final say on bills to make it to the floor and to accept them. And the thing that would happen either way, it could be flip flop. It could be the Democrats have control and the Republicans are the ones who wanted to legalize it. But now, if you go through the chamber and it gets legalized, it looks like the other side of the aisle did it. And my understanding is that's one of the biggest reasons it takes so long in many states, because now the Democrats are going to lose the votes of those who vote to legalize, and that's why they go out and vote for Democrats. So, excuse me, I don't. It doesn't seem to be that way right now. It seems like all the Democrats are speaking up for even the adult responsible use bill, let alone medical. But again, we don't know for sure anything that's actually happening behind the doors. That's why. So I meet with two Republican senators tomorrow at the Capitol. Those are going to be the first two Republicans I meet with. I'm really hopeful that they are open minded. I mean, they accepted the sit down, and I feel like they got to have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to be talking to them about when I get there. Snake eyes don't. I mean, they should be able to figure that out.
I mean,
Um,
unless they're Dasty fans and they think you're trying to legalize acid. I mean,
right. Dasty is another feller. Um, Republicans shoot it down. Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like Evers they've been trying, but both sides are like they're not talking. You can't. Well, now the Democrats obviously are pointing out what's wrong with the pill bill that Voss brought up. But when the Democrats brought the bill of Melissa Agard's, which is a very thorough bill, and again, is anything perfect? No. But even if there's just so many pluses about it as far as that are well thought out and make sense. Um, Again, I have to refresh reading. It's been so long, and I was pretty high that night. Not gonna lie, when I did read it, but I was just like, bro, this is awesome. But I also can't spell. So a lot of those big words I kind of just skipped over. So I'm going to have to go through it again and make sure that I got a good understanding. But again, if the Republicans are like, no, we're not going to, but they don't say why, how are we ever going to get this thing figured out? I can answer it's because the people are going to start causing a little bit of a ruckus. And again, the ruckus is just why are you guys not listening to us?
right.
70% are for medical use of cannabis. Fox News. So Fox and CNN, obviously we know they're both biased. When something big goes down, I check Fox, I check CNN, and then I check like, oh, what's that place over in overseas?
The
BBC.
BBC.
Yeah, yeah. So I do like this trifecta, and then I kind of just form my own take. And a lot of times it's kind of like, well, they're kind of just being extreme. They're kind of just being extreme. This really isn't that big of a deal, is what I kind of get from the three of them. But of course, if it's Republican or Democratic, then you toss it at the other news state. So it's just like, just can we talk? Because when 85% of Fox News watchers say they're for medical use of cannabis, I don't think you need to try to come up with the most restrictive medical bill ever known to man. They probably weren't even this technical like when they discovered the plant and people were like freaking out in the little hut when there's like four people on the earth. It was still probably a little well more put together than just, well, you can, but you gotta meet and you can only get it from five places. Huh. Like, bro, what? Oh,
Yeah,
just really gets me
that's
going.
that's the most head scratching shit I've ever heard.
That's hardcore,
Oh,
man.
that's awful.
It
Like
is.
5 dispensaries, state-run dispensaries. Like, come on, son.
Rise on DEA grants that have shackled them to this bullshit. Well, and the good news, Don, is the pulse that I'm getting from local law enforcement is, and if it just makes sense if you think about it, especially with THCA flower now, they've already had issues with lawsuits over CBD flower, hemp. We've got a couple people in the group that have been imprisoned and then just oh let out because the cops realized they messed up, and they've got lawsuits hanging over, that are trying to be worked out. THCA flower, there is zero difference in look, taste, smell, appearance. A cop is
Fact.
not going to know that that's hemp. You're going to get like they got to just be so sick and tired of this. It should be a simple thing. If you're driving around with, so in my opinion, if you're driving around with the back of your truck full of Everclear, you probably should get some kind of a fine. I don't know why there's no restriction on how much alcohol you can buy, but I've just never seen you do anything good. And if you got that much, just in case you're crazy, give them a fine. Do you throw them in jail? No, but just be like, yo, be responsible. Everclear is terrible if you're doing something with that much. But even then, maybe they're going to a graduation party the size of Lambeau Field. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like, if you want to try to help people, like if you want to try to help people by like, hey, here's what you can do, here's what you can't do. Where is there anything wrong with consuming hemp responsibly? If you're at work and you're stoned and you're driving the forklift in circles, yes, you should get a fine. You should get written up. Like, I don't know where people keep coming up with that one. This whole, like, the gentleman who stopped in here with his little complaint. Oh, all we need is more high people. Bro, we're not saying people need to be high 24/7. If you're high 24/7, please seek help. That's not normal. That's not good. If you if you
Sorry.
if you wake up in the morning, you do. I say this so many times. I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but it's just if you wake up in the morning, you go to your work, you do your job, you come home, you spend time with. If you have a family, your family. If it's just you, you have your little you time. And then if you want to consume some cannabis, why in the hell is that a problem to anybody else? God, just driving me nuts.
Well, that too, and I mean, I know a lot of people that just come home from work and crack a beer open in front of their kids. So I mean,
Right,
where
right, and that's just so
the
acceptable,
argument is
especially in
dull.
Wisconsin. Right.
Yeah, right.
And again, we're not trying to say that alcohol should be banned or anything. It's just the hypocrisy of, oh, we just are making sure the people are okay. We really care about the people. We got to make sure it stays in pill form. If that's really how concerned you are with us, that we can't control ourselves with any kind of substance, then yeah, then whatever's going on with alcohol needs to change tomorrow. Because the amount of people that I see that change into somebody that I don't like to be around when they drink is a shit ton. And those people, yeah, maybe one beer is fine, but how many people go home and have five or six? And then, like, and again, I'm not trying to attack alcohol. I'm just saying, if you, the lawmakers, are that worried about our consumption of cannabis and you're not worried about the consumption of alcohol, you are the one that's on some kind of a drug that is mind altering, because that just makes no sense. But again, we're not attacking alcohol. We don't think that should go away. Just to prove a point of, so you trust us with this, and we can buy as much of this as we want. We can go buy a U-Haul and load it up, and we can buy that substance, go home and consume it all, and you're not worried about that. But if I want to buy an eighth, which lasts my lightweight ass about a week, so if I want to buy an eighth, that's somehow you. Oh no, don't let them do that. No, you can't do that. That's bad. That's bad. No, none of that unless you're dying. So wait, that thing you tell me I can't have, I can have if I'm sick. What? Like it helps you, but I can't have it. What, bro? If you could only have a, and don't get me wrong, I'm if medical comes first, I'm all for it. If it's done right, and if we're taking care of the people who need it, absolutely, that makes sense. But you can't tell me that this. Oh,
All right, I'll let you in on a little secret, okay?
yeah, snakes.
I have literally done hundreds of professional wrestling matches in my day. 99.9% of them I had to smoke before I went out to the ring. Because not only was I able to remember my spots better, it calmed my breathing down, it calmed my muscles down, it calmed the nerves down. Because I don't know if you guys have ever performed in front of people half naked wearing like, spandex and kick pads and being a really small, skinny guy like I am. self-conscious, couldn't do a speech in school. And God rest the man that's on the wall behind me over here. But him and I would go out back, smoke a quick joint. Dude, we went out and had some of the best matches of our careers against each other. Just calm as can be, able to talk, able to breathe, fully functioning. I mean, I know wrestlers, I've seen wrestlers, Marty Jannetty, famous WWF 1980s wrestler, completely annihilated on alcohol and totally ruin a show. I mean, they always say don't meet your idols. I mean, the first time I met him, completely cool. He was during his sober phase, and then there was one time the promoter paid him before the show, which you don't do to a recovering alcoholic, and then drop him off at a hotel. Just saying for anybody out there that's gonna book a famous legend. And yeah, he stumbled out when he wasn't supposed to. He ruined his match. Like it's just, I hate what alcohol does to people. Like I just absolutely hate it.
Yeah, I hear it. Uh, Don says, "What's the big reveal?" Don, you were here, so the big reveal. I can't do the big one yet. That one, let's just say tomorrow. I will have a after the visiting the capital. I'll have a better. Like I will personally know if things are good to go, but I can't share it until we get a little closer. But the good news is tomorrow, if you just watch my demeanor, you might be able to tell if it's good or bad. Because I'm terrible at secrets, as some of you now know. But just whew, tomorrow's a big day. I'm looking forward to it. And we'll just leave it at again. There are Republican senators willing to sit down with somebody that's wearing. I'm wearing the blaze orange tomorrow.
Yeah,
When I
do
met with
it.
when I met with Senator Agard, I wore my professional. It's this nice pullover, and then it's the smaller one because I'm like, I just want to be a little professional. But tomorrow, it's about being loud and being proud because I know that's what you guys would do if you were there, and that's all I do. All I do in this chair and traveling with Snake Eyes, meeting these places, all I do is what I know all of you would do if you could, but you can't afford to right now. And that's not a dig, that's a fact. I don't know how the hell I talked my wife into giving me this 3-month trial of trying to figure this out. But if it wouldn't have been from a coincidence of me having to sell my side by side to help pay bills, right? I had it paid off, but I had to sell it because everything's going up in price ridiculously. So it was only because that happened that when I left my last job, I was able to say, honey, that little bit of, that couple $1,000, can I try living off of that for 3 months to try to just do something that I don't know that is going to happen otherwise? Because Snake Eyes, can you afford to miss like 2 weeks of work even?
I missed a week of work last week, and I just scrambled
Dude,
by
it
today
sucks.
getting gas.
It sucks. This world, how is everything so freaking expensive? COVID happened regardless of if you're vax or I go over this all the time. If you got the vax, you did the right thing. If you didn't, you did the right thing. That's my stance. You're not going to change it. I feel like people should be able to decide what they want to do, and I respect that. I don't care anything else about the vax. That's just where I'm at with that. Where the fuck was I going before the vax? Shit. I was on a roll. I was heated, dude.
um,
Um,
I'm
was
not gonna
anybody
front.
paying attention?
I've been puffing this stuff from Green Thumb. I mean, this is all legit, 100% real right now. I'm officially getting the gigglies. So, shout out to Derek at the Green Thumb Alternative and Stevens Point. Go down there and get
Right.
you some THC flower out there.
Definitely. Oh, higher prices. Thank you, Sean.
There you
See,
go.
Sean, that's why we have you here. You help keep things rolling. Um, so the higher prices. COVID caused the price of everything go up. I was in the car industry. Cars went up like 20 grand over the course of like 8 months. And everybody's trading went up. So everyone's trading in because, hey, now I get an extra 2 grand on my trading. Yeah, well, when you get an extra 2 grand, but they're charging you 20 grand more, and here we all are like, we don't have a choice. I had to because my Silverado had 270,000 miles on it. And I knew I was going to be traveling a lot. So I see the car depleting and they're like, oh, we don't know if we're going to get any more. We don't know when conductors. So I was like, shit, one of the last ones. I bought a new truck. And there I was stuck with the car payment. Like, oh, things will kind of even out. This is just COVID. Some warehouses are shutting down. But damn it, what these businesses seems to be realizing is, well, if we just leave the prices that high, they have to pay it. Like, bro, everything, milk.
Yeah.
I hate.
But
I
somehow
sound like
inflation is so low right now.
yeah. Like just because you say inflation is low, don't mean it's real. That's what I'm learning to realize with anything I'm told is just let me double check. And gas is okay-ish right now. It's not terrible, but it also helps because I drive a hybrid now, which is a good thing. Otherwise, I'd really be paying a lot in gas. But like meat, God, I sound like my parents. The price of everything's going
Dude,
up.
I feel that. I feel it.
But legit, like I bet you
Bacon's
came.
4 times as expensive, and I love bacon. Like,
I bet you a Tootsie Roll is 50 cents now. That shit was a penny
well,
borough back in the day.
Little Debbie used to be 50 cents, right? And now it's $1.25, so it's Big Debbie, but
There you go.
doesn't want to accept it.
Well, and the other thing is you got dude, damn, this shit's kicking my ass. Shout out to the Flower Pot. Wonderful products.
Yeah, see,
Uh
people should just send us their stuff to sample, and we'll just do it
yeah,
live
we'll
on the
sample
Monday
it.
podcast.
Well, it's kind of crazy, bro. Glad you're enjoying them, he
Uh,
says. Make sure they legalize growing too. Absolutely, William. We're looking for 21 plants. 21 plants. What he says, yo, I finally made it to a live one. Hey, or Kenneth.
hey, welcome.
Oh my God, it's Kenneth, not Keith. Yeah.
Hey, man, it looks like you had some good stuff today too.
It's pretty good. $5 still make you holler. I mean, that's yeah, but that's not because we're buying. Well, I don't even know where to take that one. I got you, Chris says. Thank you, William. That's a whole different podcast. Yeah, no kidding. No, let's start at 12, says Tammy. I need a medical card so bad. Kenneth says, I think 21 is good. You got 7 in flower, you got 7 seedlings, and then 7 for in case you are trying to do living soil and you get mites, which happens a lot, and you got to be able to fend it off. And it's not just this easy little thing. If you want to try to grow cannabis, I think you should. I wanted to, well, if it's legal where you live. Those are for our Michigan listeners, of course, Mr. Zuckerberg. I would never otherwise recommend anything illegal. We only talk about hemp. And make sure you have your hemp grower's license. That one's for the USDA. Shout out to Dustin. He can come out and check your samples. Um, no, but growing, man, talk about a respect for the plant that we use. It ain't just a weed, okay? When you talk about like you can't get the weeds out of your driveway or the weed whacker that you always got to go after them things that just keep growing.
The
That's not
thistles.
how. Yeah, there you go. That's not how this plant grows. This plant is beautiful when you figure it out, but it is a nightmare to figure out because you grow it outside. It's not perfect. I mean, it doesn't look like the nugs you're buying in the store. That's for sure. Let me tell you, you know, you can't just put it in the ground and it grows. And then you try to go indoor, which again, if anyone was talking about this, it was in Michigan with a legal license. Definitely not in my basement. If you were growing indoors, you can control the environment, so that's awesome. But try to get what's the best for your seed that you're growing. What's the best environment to grow it in? Because
And the
it ain't the
light
same as
cycles.
yeah, and it ain't the same as the strain next to it or the other strain or the other strain. These are all so different, and it's so awesome that what else is there that grows that this helps you with that, but this one over here looks the same, but it helps you with that. Like it's just crazy. It has the terpenes that some of our favorite fruits do. Well, myrcene, pinene, all this. It's so crazy. It's legit a medicine. And to grow it because it takes time to figure out. But when you figure it out, it legit is like that. What was that show? Disjointed, where the grower is always talking to his girls and he's like, oh, but I don't want to cut them. He can't even snip them off. I get it, dude, because once you finally figure it out, and I did autoflowers, which long story short, okay, sometimes I'm ADHD, hyperactive. I saw autoflower and I saw regular, and I'm like, there's probably a difference. But then I was like, I don't even want to look it up. Autoflower sounds cool, so I buy it. So my first grow, I was growing autoflowers in Michigan, not knowing that they were autoflowers. And I'm going to a guy for advice, and he kept like, I don't know what's happened. This is really weird. I've never seen this. Well, then we come to find out so autoflowers just keep growing. You can have the lights on whatever cycle you want. You don't have to worry about. Otherwise, it's a regular plant. You got to be darker at night. Dustin can tell you a little bit about it. He wrote a book in middle school. I went to school with him. I'm just kidding. I made all that up. I don't know why.
You
I
had
don't
me.
know.
You had
I,
me.
I had him. Dude, now I went off and I don't even remember what I was talking about again.
Talking about growing and
Oh
when you
yeah,
were at
growing.
newer.
So I smoked the crap out of these autoflowers. They look uh like a dandelion that was drenched all water out of the roots, and it was disgusting. I wasn't even gonna try it. And so I was like, fuck. Then I read about autoflowers and I'm like, oh, okay, it goes quicker. That's cool. That's what I want to do. I don't want to wait. So then I plant them. Well, now as they start growing, they start stretching if they're not getting enough light. If they get too much light, they start cooking and just looking bad. So you start to dial that in. But then I find out that auto flowers, because they're auto, they grow like twice as fast. So that means like when something bad happens to them, it's twice as fast. So it's not, it sounds like with photo, your normal, it's a slower process. So if you see some leaves start to, they're not looking great, they're drooping, you give them water and then it's just good to go. Where my shit was just like, it wouldn't be go to bed and it's might need help. It's you go to bed, it looks fine, you wake up and then it looks like it's dying. It was So I learned at an accelerated rate. It took 3 pretend grows in Michigan, and then I had enough to definitely enjoy it. But it's cool, man. It's
I never got that far. I
no,
received my first felony 2 months after turning 18 for 2 plants. So yeah, I literally walked
oh
graduation and then walked into jail. It was a great time.
well, that'll happen. Well,
But hey
that'll
man,
happen.
live and learn. It
Hey,
was fun
Mike,
while it
thanks for
lasted.
stopping out. Right? That's correct. And you can't clone autoflowers. I don't get why Wisconsin's so hesitant. I know it's super annoying. Appreciate the love, Ken. Appreciate you stopping out. Tammy did
Yes,
good
sir.
in her grow tent with LED lights on bag seeds. That's what's up. I do think clones would be cool to check out once I could get a hand on one and growing's legal. Because that seedling stage is pretty tough. Again, it's cool to be a part of the whole stage, but man, I feel like it'd be a good start if you could get it in that clone state. Excuse me. You have to adjust as it grows. Yeah, I definitely learned that. You can find the netting on Amazon. Worst thing I've seen outdoors is spider mites that will wipe out your plant quick, right? Yeah, especially because you want to be careful with what you're spraying on it and all that. So, Mike, I think I saw your post, man. I appreciate it. Snake Eyes, did you have anything you'd like to talk about today? About as like far as our little visit we had to Green Thumb Alternatives? What was your take? When was the last time you were in a dispensary in Wisconsin? Let's start with that.
In Wisconsin,
Yeah.
um, I don't think I've ever been in one in Wisconsin.
All right. Fair.
To be honest with you, like I pass the THE or whatever in Sheboygan all the time, but I never think about ever going in there just because my opinion up until earlier today was, well, that's some bunk shit. That's fake. I'll just drive to Michigan.
Right.
But after today, like I said, during this live, I just puffed a whole bowl of the grape ape, and dude, it was delicious. And I feel the same as if I just pulled out my bag from Loom or Higher Love or any of those places. Like I literally, like, I caught myself zoning out for a little bit while you were going on your thing, and I'm like, oh my god, I should move. He probably thinks I'm frozen on the screen. So I'm like,
I appreciate
so I
that
was trying
then,
to
because
stay in my own head, but I was letting you kind of, get your spiel out
I
there, man.
appreciate
Because
that though. When I have people
it's
on and if they don't move, I'm always like, "Am I talk? What does this mean? What are they trying to tell me?" So appreciate that.
I was freaking out in my own head. It's all right, boss. But no,
Hey,
I mean, if you're in the Stevens Point area, definitely check it out if you're cautious about it. Derek was super knowledgeable. Um, we overheard a discussion of somebody asking about products and different products and what they can do and if they could die from taking them. And um, props to whoever it was because they're dropping something very hard to try something that
yeah, for
is
sure.
a lot better for their body and their mental health. So shout out for that. Um, but he is super knowledgeable. He will take the time to explain anything you need. I was asking probably the stupidest questions he's ever heard today, but he took the time and explained, the Delta carts. He explained the THCA buds to us. We got to check out some. I'm gonna be cutting up the footage this week. Hopefully Thursday I can get a full day of editing in, and then hopefully we'll be able to post something this weekend about our trip up to Stevens Point today.
No, it was very cool. And again, shout out to the folks over there at the Green Thumb. And please know that typically and I mean, unless you're really in the boonies, but there are a lot of dispensaries in Wisconsin that are selling good products. But again, you got to find them. If you tried THCA or if you tried hemp derived, Tammy, I know you don't believe me, but I believe you. You're still going to get the right stuff. It's going to happen because THCA flower is the same as cannabis in Michigan. It is not different. It is not different. It is not different. It is not different. There's different strains. Are you getting the same strain that you're buying in Michigan? No. But if you think you found a strain that's not potent enough, don't stop trying THCA strains. There's so many strains now that most are hybrids. So it's not a true, not like a heavy indica typically chills you out. A heavy sativa usually gets you going. But you might have a good hybrid that's helping your body not get high in the psychoactive kind of high. If you found you can go to Michigan, take a bag of stuff from Higher Love, you can, and if the tests say you can look at the test of flower in Michigan, and I can prove to you that some of them are hemp and can be sold in Wisconsin. Let's leave it at that. Now, is the most potent one in Michigan allowed in Wisconsin? It might be if somebody's willing to their testing certificate that they got might be off a little bit and nobody ever checks that. Okay. Because the cops can't mess with your flower. Because when you say it's hemp, they're going to go, oh shit, here goes one of these things again. Okay. There are some people that are risking their life somewhere and they're just taking the same stuff they grow in Michigan and they're grabbing a sheet of paper from a different grow and they're putting it with this flower that is otherwise going to Michigan and they just call it hemp. And now the place that bought it doesn't have to worry about getting in trouble. The person who bought it doesn't have to, unless the cop can't tell the difference. But if he could test it, then you might be in a little situation. And that's where I started to feel, because again, as long as people know going in there, if you smoke it or if it gets tested, even it might turn into a situation. Okay. Because the paperwork says it's good. But if it gets tested and it's not good, if it tests as marijuana and not hemp, but you have to keep the chain of custody. So you got to have the receipt to show you bought it from here. They got to have the receipt to show who they bought it from, which farm. Like, how is the cop or whoever going to have time to do all this work? You're going to need
Right.
like Bill Nye the Science Guy to test it. You're going to need like, what's a really good lawyer
Well,
who's like a badass?
You're gonna need an independent lab
No.
for one.
Well, yeah, but we're
Oh,
going
you're
with
trying to go with like famous. Okay,
yeah,
I get it.
famous. Who's a really good? James Bond. You're gonna need James Bond so he can go to the store to say, "Hey, this guy over here, he got caught with cannabis. He says it's hemp. I don't think it's hemp." That's not how James Bond talks. What the fuck? Well, anyways, we're
Yeah,
gonna keep it up.
that was a that was a grumpy James Bond right there, bud.
So quit interrupting now, even though I interrupted myself. So there are people that oh fuck, we already talked about that. So back to you get caught. Okay, let's say you have marijuana, but you have a bag that says it's hemp. That happens a lot with THCA flower. Okay, and now you get busted. How does the cop first of all know where your flower came from? Because even if you have the bag, I would obviously be arguing that I did, especially if it's a hemp bag. Yes, sir, that's where it came from, right there. But how do you prove that that came from there? Because otherwise, all I got to do is ride around with an empty hemp bag. a hemp. So if you got a bag from a dispensary that says THCA on it, and it's sitting in your car, and you just leave it there, and now you go buy the craziest shit laced with the most fentanyl ever off the street. Not. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's good street weed. I'm just making a point here.
Minus the fentanyl.
Yes, correct. So, and then you get back. God, why'd you bring up? We're gonna look at the comments for a minute. Definitely needs to be legalized. I'd be too afraid to buy something off the street. Felt that. If you're still talking to receipt from a 1979, and you may have a problem. I mean, yeah, that's probably a good point. But either way, so now Snake Eyes, if you keep that wrapper you got, and now you got your shit that you normally get, whether it's Michigan or from the street, and you get pulled over, but that's sitting next to you, next to your joint or whatever you packed. Okay, well then is that by default hemp because that's the closest bag that it's to? I'm sure there's a lawyer that could prove that. Okay, because if it tests hot, then it would go to the bag. So even if it was your street weed joint, and you get pulled over next to the bag that you just got, don't you think the cop, if he legit thinks there's some bad thing going on, he's going to have to go to that store and say, hey, this street weed, he doesn't know it, but this street weed is yours. And they're going to go look at it and probably be able to tell, no, it's not pre-rolled. That's a joint. That we don't sell joints filled with cannabis. And the officer is going to make himself look like a goon. And he's going to be like, but it was right next to the wrapper, so I know it was you. Like, it, even if you did that, and that somehow got figured out, then the place you bought it from is now in a pickle because they have to figure out the farm that it came from, which usually there's a distributor in between. So if you buy from somebody, not directly a farmer, which most people do, because that's just how that works. Now James Bond is going to the farmer, right, to go, hey, so this joint right here, is this from your girl? Like, how are you gonna? Now your street weed is at the farmer going, hey, is this yours? Like, what? I don't see how they're going to figure out how to figure that out. So if you're a police officer right now, I want to try to help make your life easier because you can focus on the actual, and I don't say actual because then it sounds like you're not doing the right thing now. Most of you are. Most cops are doing the right thing. Yes, there's bad cops, but there's bad everything, right? But most cops are good. But could you imagine trying to figure out, Snake Eyes, now that you've seen THCA flower, if you pull up on somebody and they've got a brick opened up of street weed, okay, but you pull them over, you knowing what you know now, if dude has a receipt saying that he bought 28 grams from the dispensary you went at today, what are you doing?
I'm thinking it's probably coming from the dispensary that it's marked and labeled by. But then
Right.
again, I mean, cops. I mean, it's such a sketchy slope. 'Cause I mean, who says a cop can't just be having a bad day and be like, I don't care, it's weed. Like
Exactly.
it happens. I mean, don't get me wrong, it happens, and it sucks that it happens. But I mean,
Well, exactly. And so, because now think of this. Okay, we're talking just cannabis from Michigan. Let's pretend THCA flower doesn't exist. This will maybe help you guys understand. You're a grower in Michigan, because we'll talk Michigan because their prices are the most fair that I've seen so far. So you're in Michigan. You're a farmer. When cannabis first came out, I feel like it was more expensive, but like right now, it's a deal, bro. It's a deal. Most cannabis is a very good deal, especially like the economy, everything going up, but weeds coming down. Hey, that's not a terrible thing. Okay. So the price is coming down. So you as the farmer are now selling the same product that you're working hard for. It's like a stock market, but the stock is crashing, right? When the competition starts lowering your prices. So now you're a farmer. You went from we're just using fictitious numbers. You're making $100,000 a year with your cannabis grow in Michigan. Now the prices, because the competitors are going up, the prices are going down. Now you're only making 50 grand. So you're losing half of your income and you're still working just as hard as you were. That's where, like, if you're a farmer, I got mad respect for you because it's not what some people think, which is just this super easy. I inherited a farm. Now it's a luxurious life. Don't get me wrong. If you build something for your kids, that's awesome. So if you have a farm and you give it to your kid, I don't for 1 second look at that as a silver spoon because somebody spent their life knowing that they were going to struggle and sacrifice so they could leave a legacy behind. You cannot be mad at somebody for that ever, right?
yeah.
Because that's my plan. I want to build some kind of legacy for my kid. I want to be able to, instead of getting more toys, I would rather try to fix the basement and whatever, this, so on and so forth. Like, if somebody builds something, you can't hate somebody that walks into that. That's just my opinion. Why did we get on that subject? I'm not quite sure.
yeah, it
So
was a
the
weird
farmer.
drift.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
Snake Eyes. So farmers, that's what we were talking about. So now you're down to 50 grand, Snakes. You lost half your income, but you're still working just as hard, right? But then while you're struggling to pay bills, the price of everything in the world is also going up. So now your 50 grand is only really worth like 30 grand the year prior because the price of everything goes up. So now you're down to 30 grand. All of a sudden you're like, bro, am I going to have to live on welfare, government assistance? How is this going to work? Okay. And all of a sudden, somebody's driving by, because we're just going to go with that route instead of making a phone call. Somebody's driving by and they got a big old truck. We're talking like a semi. And they pull into your driveway. Snake eyes. You're the farmer. You're doing the same thing you did last year. You're doing your harvest. You even got a little better yield. You got a little more product out of your harvest this year. So you were thinking you were going to get a little more money when you go to sell that. Guy pulls up. You just got an email that your buyer, or whoever buys from you, is now only able to pay you $30,000. So you're like, holy shit, dude. My wife, how do I tell my wife? How are we going to afford rent? What are we going to have to sell? Okay. But in this process of a couple of days of you freaking the fuck out, dude pulls up in his big semi truck and he pulls his horn when he gets there. Whoop, whoop. And you're like, bro, what the hell is this? Guy comes walking out of the semi truck. He knocks on your door. You answer the door. He goes, hey, I heard you got some cannabis. And the guy goes, yeah, don't even get me going. Only $30,000. And the guy in his driveway goes, I'll give you $60,000. I'll take it all right now. You can double what you're about to make. Would you fudge a number on a COA, a PDF? Would you fudge a number on a PDF to be able to provide more for your family for doing the same thing in a system that you got not taken advantage because you knew there was a risk, but I guess what would you do? I mean, obviously we would like to make the right call. We would like to take the humble road and be like, I had a contract, but what would that company do to you if they lost you? They just go on to the next day. They'll get rid of you whenever, but the time you make one decision to help yourself and not the company that we all work for, okay, then you're a terrible person. Like, I feel like there is times where you got to do what you got to do. And again, if it doesn't hurt your neighbor or to anyone around you or anyone who's going to get it, and you can double your income, I'm selling to that guy.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes there are things called human errors.
Exactly.
Oops, we messed up a number. Sorry, boss. I mean, it happens. Granted, I'm sure there's still gonna be some irk from James Bond and company, but I mean, that's
Well,
just
and
it's a
Don,
slippery slope.
if I could touch base with you, Don, I've tried to figure out how to tell if his PDF is cooked, and I can't. I would like to know for my personal well-being. I know that I need to know if somebody can tell if a PDF was altered. Please get in touch with me, because that only helps support a part of this. It's a long story, because I tried to figure out how to do that, because I can't believe how easy it is to mess with a PDF these days. Have you tried this? Let me show you something.
I
Who's
was gonna
got
say
a
sometimes though in the details, if you go into the properties of it, it will say that it was originally posted on this date, and then it'll actually have like there was an edit made on this date. Like some of those in the properties itself saves it in the code that you edited or altered
Well, okay, but check this
it.
out. That is true. But now you take this altered PDF, you take it to the print button, and then you hit print, save as PDF. It actually just takes the image. It does
The
not
image,
know
yeah,
anything about the document otherwise. Nothing.
it's true too.
And if I could test that, Siri, let me know. Don, if you're able to test it, I think I can cook a PDF. It'll just be like a Martha Stewart recipe. I don't want to tie myself to anybody. If you don't like Martha Stewart, I'm sorry. Everyone seems to just not like everybody. So I just found a recipe card. Why do I gotta keep picking on people? But if you like Martha, I like you too. Why did we do all that, Bob? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I want to cook a PDF, send it to you, and you tell me if it was cooked. I'll send you like 3 files, and you don't get to know which one's which. You got to try to figure out which one's cooked. I think that would be neat. That is correct, Philip. The QR codes resolved a lot of this, being that they'll take you right to the COA from a lab. So that's why you always want to be looking for a product that has the QR code on it. That will show you what that would test at. So then if you were to get stopped, you're covered. So that's why, like that guy who tried to stop in at Green Thumb today and I was asking him questions, you scan
Right.
his QR code and all it does is take you to the website. That's not what QR codes on cannabis products are supposed to do. QR code should take you to the certificate of analysis that tells you everything that's on it. So when I saw that, it was like huge red flag. And he said, we're just a wholesaler or whatever. Well, don't you check the product that you're going to sell to
Yeah, you would
people?
think you would double check all the info.
Because again, otherwise you leave this Pandora's box open where it's like, is this legal or not? So you got to have the COA. You want to keep it in that package until you get home where you can consume it and try not to travel with it. Because as long as it's sealed, you're good. So if you take it home sealed, you'll use it at home, and then you just don't go out with it because then you don't have to worry about where it came from. You are doing pretty good. You know what I mean? I'd have to look into it. My expectation, otherwise, with the file headers. Almost deleted a comment on accident. The original is produced. It should be registered in a central database. Interesting. So yeah, it just is very frustrating that that's even a possibility because they won't pass a bill to just go about it the correct way. We can prove everyone is going out of state or buying the same thing in the state now. Because the people who aren't driving to Michigan, it's because they have a place near them with the good THCA flower. There's some places that don't have good THCA flower. That's a well-known fact, very well known, because there's no regulation. We need some regulation, government. You're not going to hear that too often, but you need to be fair about it, and we will ask for it, and we have been. So
Right.
stupid. And if you
I'm a
really
believer
want,
after today, so I mean, as long as it's from a trusted source, like like a Green Thumb alternative or like a Three Tall Pines, like the pre-roll that we got at the KMK show, that hit me pretty good. I mean,
dude, that was so cool, and that's what we'll be able to do with this concert. Did you see the look on those people's faces when we were handing them joints?
no, because I was too busy getting ready to perform and doing photography and
Oh,
performing on the
okay.
show and throwing out t-shirts since
Wow.
you weren't ready to go when it was your time. But
I did fuck
whatever.
that up. I did fuck that up, guys. Okay, I don't remember who I was talking to, and all of a sudden, I was supposed to be like, okay, when Snake Eyes goes up, he's gonna need my help. Watch for Snake Eyes. Watch for Snake Eyes. And then I got blabbing away, and next thing you know, I wasn't paying attention to the music, and all I hear is, "Where's my boy Bobby Beans?" I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go."
So to explain to the people, I was trying to throw these t-shirts from the stage, but unfortunately the stage is higher than the floor and there was like a piece from the ceiling and I kept clipping that piece from the ceiling so it wouldn't go further than like 2 rows of people and I'm like, all right, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that's great.
This Green Thumb alternative, man, this grape ape is amazing. I'm gonna recommend it to anybody in the Stevens Point area because I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling it.
I told
I
you,
hope
man, it's
Derek's still
crazy.
watching.
I'm
It
sure he
is,
is.
dude. Like I said, I made sure to not smoke any actual THC today to make sure I was completely unbiased. Like, I'm not paid to say this by Green Thumbs, although if you want to send me one of those Gorilla Glue live resin cards, I'll take it.
What the fuck?
Totally recommend it. Like, go to a trusted source, somebody that you can walk in and ask questions. If you go up and ask a question and they don't have an answer for you, get out of there.
Right. Felt that. Waldo says, stop by Waldo Hemp in Plymouth. They want to say hi to you. I think that means they got something for you too.
I will shoot me a message and we can talk. I'll come out, I'll bring my camera, we'll make you a commercial. I'll hook you up. You hook me up, I hook you up, we hook each other up. You know what I'm saying? That's what this
He's
whole team is about.
noticed he hadn't said any of this, folks, until he tried THCA flower. Before that, he didn't want none of your
Hey,
Delta
I'm
8 and
excited
stuff.
because
I know.
real live reviews are hard to come by. Everybody's paid for when they're trying something online. So I mean, if you can, like I said, they challenged to change my mind and they got me to change my mind.
Speaking of which, I have 22 strains of THCA flower that I've been sent. So I think we need to do. I think we need to set a milestone, and if we hit it, it's got to be a big milestone, folks. If you're listening right now, this is when Bob, the generous guy, gets yapping, and you need to pay attention because my wife, there's so many times she's like, why would you do that? And then I know I fucked up. I probably did a little too much. But I'm gonna say, if we somehow get to, it's got to be a crazy number. Snake, I'll let you be in charge of the number. I trust you, but it's got to be crazy hard to get. If we get to it, I will fucking line up. I got little baby pre-roll cones you can pack. I'll do little babies of 23 different strains of THCA flower, and I will puff down, up and down the line with somebody else, probably like Snake Eyes. A couple of us will, until I am really out there, and we'll do a Ask Me Anything. Oh no, that's no.
Yeah, don't do
No
that.
one,
Don't do that. Now
no.
you're going overboard, sir.
Those are not a thing anymore. Nobody does that. What would we do once we get Bob really high? I mean, you already know, even just baby hits. I took like that much off of a pre-roll before I did this podcast, and I can't remember anything.
I mean, I seen you take a dog walker of Jenny Cush, and you were totally in your own world for a good 45 minutes at that show, too.
That Jenny Cush don't mess around.
That was yummy.
If we get to 50,000 in how quick of a time frame, we're at 11 right now, so that's a ways out there.
So why don't you get it by the tour? That's 3 months.
By April 10th, if we get to 50,000,
that's doable, man.
Then I will.
Now we're live streaming on Instagram, so people are gonna start crossing over from there. And I mean, once you get this Discord.
So what we'll do is
somebody brought up a Snap group. Have you tried looking into anything about a Snapchat group?
I've got a Snapchat. I didn't know you could do a group. I know. I love dog walkers.
Dog walkers are good.
Oh, I can't wait till spring and summer. I got a camp fire pit in my backyard. We're gonna do so many fires group, bro. You should see the idea I had when I pulled in my driveway to build. So in my house, there's a staircase going upstairs. When you walk up that, there's a big window, a decent sized normal window that you could easily turn into a walkout. And you could have a deck that would just be awesomely ginormous up in the air, over my driveway in Green Bay. Dude, it would be so epic. And if we get to 50,000, I'm going to do the deck. Oh, my wife is going to kill me.
Oh, boy.
Oh, she's going to kill me. Please, everybody comment. Bob has to make the deck if he hits 50,000 before April 10th. Because then it's a contract, and then I got to ask for forgiveness. That's what I did with the grow room, dude. So when I first started growing, I didn't think they were going to grow at all. So when they started growing, I'm like, oh, shit. So I messaged our growers like, dude, what do I do? And he's like, they need more light because all of a sudden they started keeling over. And he's like, you need to get a grow tent. I'm like, I can't afford a grow tent. And he's like, well, then you got to have a space that you can have dark and what. I'm like, and I was like, oh, shit, the pantry, bro. The pantry downstairs. Yeah, it's full of canned goods. Yes, my wife is going to say no, but she's not home right now. So, dude, I just loaded up. Canned goods. I mean, we were ready for the apocalypse, bro. And here I am, just these little every paper bag I could find, I'm stacking with as many cans. Then I go to move, they all fall out. So I finally went to bins, and I get all the shit out. Now there's metal shelving. That metal shelving, if I told my wife, I moved it out, and then I moved it to where it went. I am never moving it again. I will pay somebody to remove it. It's a piece of shit, but it's built like a tank, and each bolt, it's a fucking puzzle, like of the highest level. I can't tell you how many times I zipped all these bolts on for this fucking shelving in these arms, and then you go to do the last one, and we're talking like 22 bolts because it's just shelves, industrial. This is an industrial setup. And I finally get to the last one, and I pull the arm that's going to go down there, the last little, it keeps everything square, and It's off by like 4 inches. And I'm like, well, it's just got, it's metal. It bends a little bit. No, I fucked something up. So I pull the shelf out, I get behind it, and I'm following where it goes. And I'm like, okay, so something's not right there. Maybe we try flipping it, whatever. So I take that bolt out, number 2 of 200, or 2 of 22. Now I have 2 bolts out. So now it should be pretty easy. So you flip it, you put it on. Now you're 4 inches off over there. So it's like, well, what the fuck? I can't do anything else with this piece. So you set that piece down. And now what do? You go get another piece and you go, brr, brr, you take the bolts out. Now you got 4 bolts in your hand. And now you're like, well, that didn't really do anything. So then you try taking the one that was too long, you put it there, it's still too. Bro, I spent 2 days with a fucking metal shelf that ain't no bigger than your desk. Oh my God. I'm sorry. That was some bullshit. Fuck that thing. Oh.
Oy.
Anyways, I took that out. I had the same experience taking it apart in the goddamn grow room. So I finally get everything out. Bro, the basement was a mess for 2 years because of me. Because I had so many bins of food. We had nowhere to put it because the shelf wasn't put together again. It was just sitting there in shambles, and I knew what I was going to have to deal with when I put it together. So I bought 2 years of my life not having to deal with this. I can't believe my wife let me go that long. She's very organized. I am not. And so I finally was like, fuck, I need to put that thing together. So for 2 years, I changed my wife's life because I took all of her stuff out without asking, and I kept telling her, I'll do that tomorrow. You ever run into that, Snakes, when you got something you want to do and you're like, fuck it, you can wait till tomorrow?
All the time. But I'm also at that point where my teenage daughter likes to follow in her dad's footsteps. And now I'm like, all right, well, we got to do it now. No more putting stuff off. So I've actually been pretty good on, like, if I say I'm gonna get something done, it's getting done. So it's getting better. It only took me 30 some years to figure out.
Right. Kayla says, wives know that if a man says it'll happen tomorrow, it won't happen at all. You might be right. It's also really weird. Is this a guy thing? I don't know how we got onto guy things, but who gives a fuck? Is this a guy
Yeah.
thing that if my neighbor's driveway is covered in snow and I wake up, my first thought is, it'd be kind of cool if I could shovel his snow for him. He's a cool guy. He helps us out. He does ours once in a while. I'll go do it. And then I'm like, fuck, now I got to do ours. Bro, if it's my shit, I don't want to do it ever. Well, like, even taking the garbage out, it's like, fucking garbage, dude. This is so stupid. But if I saw the neighbor was about to miss his, I would gladly go get, but I don't know. It's weird when you're taking care of yourself. It's just like, meh. But somebody else, if I can help, that's what that's what I can do. I'm gonna let the dishes soak. Has that happened a few times, Christy? Bro, did I tell you? Who was I telling? Oh, you guys don't know this. I got in trouble for doing the dishes.
Uh-oh.
It was
Did you wash a
genius.
cast iron?
No, whoa, her pots and pans. Whoa, don't let metal touch them. Don't let spoons touch them. Don't put the hot water on, or don't put them in water when it's done cooking right away. Bro, them pans are special. Whew, they should be. They feel like some fancy shit. Oh, they were. I forgot. That was a Christmas present one year. So you get what you pay for. But no, dude. So I don't hear the best, and we're in the kitchen, and I needed a glass, and my glass that I like is in the dishwasher. I see on the front of it that it says clean. I have now learned that when it says clean, the stuff inside is clean, because I went 4 years never opening the dishwasher because I never knew if it was clean or dirty, and I just assumed it was dirty. And then my wife said, oh, why don't you look at the little placard we've had for 4 years? And I was like, holy fuck, good call. So now I know to check it because it's clean, so I'm going to get what I need. But when I open it, fucking water shoots all over because the thing was running, but I couldn't hear that it was running. And my wife, what are you doing? Oh my God, how did you do? Bro, I couldn't hear it. I didn't know it was on. And I thought it would be like a laundry machine where it like locks. Why wouldn't it lock when you're spinning around hot water? Anybody got an excuse for that? Thank you. What a piece of... And now I get yelled at because I made a mess. And I'm sorry. I didn't think to check to see if this... Don't tell me it's clean if it's not ready to go. That's all I'm saying. Kayla says 4 years. Your wife is a damn good woman. She is amazing. Definitely. See, Tammy, I said dishwasher's locked. And she's like, I don't think so because this one doesn't.
Mine doesn't.
We just got a cheap one. Tammy's just got the Ritz-Carlton over there. She's staying in a nice hotel. Soap never touches my cast iron. Doing your own thing is never fun. Oh, here we go. What do you guys think that company coming means they have to clean the garage? Well, whoa, what? This is way harder to read than it should be. Why do guys think that company coming means they have to clean the garage while the wife has to clean the whole damn house? Bro, that's so true. I do. My
See,
dad.
I apologize when people are coming. I'm like, look, I got shit that I do. There ain't enough hours a day. You're coming to hang out with me, not comment on my floor.
Dude, so here, I'm gonna show you guys because my dad is awesome. He's funny. And my mom is she's finally now, I think they've been together like almost 40 years, I think it is now. And
Dang.
she's starting to realize he's not gonna change. And I keep trying to tell my wife that. She keeps saying, like, you should do this. And I'm like, honey, this is just how it is. And I can't help it. It's literally hardwired in there. Right. My dad, he does partake now. He definitely did not until, oh, I need to have him on a podcast. He can tell the story. You guys want to know how I got introduced to weed, my dad, and how many days he would go without talking to me, right? And long story short, about 2 years ago, I became his drug dealer because I worked at a dispensary like we were at today at Green Thumbs Alternative and got the good stuff. And it was the Rice Krispie bar. He loves Rice Krispie bars. All of a sudden at work, they're like, we think we're going to make Rice Krispie bars. And it took me like 5 minutes. I'm walking around work just a normal day. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to get dad to try fucking weed. And sure as shit, dude. He was so hesitant. He's like, rah, rah. It took a couple, I think I even just left it there. And then finally, it was one of those, if I told him he wasn't going to do it things. And then I remember the next time we go there and he's like, hey, got any more than Rice Krispie bars? I was like, let's go. So was it the taste or did you feel something? And he's like, oh. And still the most high he's been that I've seen so far. What's up, Chris? I hope your night's going well as well. He hops on, or we're playing a game at the table. Just a simple game, man. I mean, it was like Uno or something. Super simple. Because I was stoned, but I was able to follow along, which is saying a lot. And it gets to my dad's turn, and he's just sitting there. And I knew something was coming as far as just how high he was going to get. He's just sitting there completely vibing, just a little, got the little head nod, not looking at anybody. And he's just, and then we go, Dad. And he's just still, and Dad, whoa. And then he looks around the fucking room, kind of one of these, not really squinting, not really sure what is going on, just complete fucking lost. And he goes, when did we get on a boat? So since then, I hooked my dad up with as much product as he wants. Awesome. Man, now, and my mom was the same way, bro. Now I call it, like if I call her now, I ain't going to get nothing completed in our conversation. She's just out there, dude. She's out there. She's just, yeah. Okay. No, I can remember that. It's cool though, because they work their ass off all day long up there. I mean, they don't have like a barn and farm animals, but the amount of work those two do, they never sit still. It drives me nuts. So the fact that they can relax for a couple hours, go for it. Again, that to me is still not responsible use. If you're taking care of what you need to get done in a day, especially when you're as productive as they're retired, and I keep telling them, fucking chill, bro. And the only time they really sit down and chill is when they take some edibles. So I'd much rather them do that than go to the bar and get all, and then have to drive home. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I feel like I'm talking about our kids. I'm talking about my parents.
I mean, you at least have a cool story about that. Like, my dad yelled at me when I was 16 and found out I was smoking weed. And then I knew he did it in the Navy. So obviously that was like in the 70s when he was in there. And it was like 4 years ago on 4th of July. I got a little tappy on my shoulder. We used to have like a fireworks show out here. We would spend like $3,000 on fireworks and because I live in the country. So I give my friends like a fireworks show. Like we have special 36 artillery shell launchers that we made, and like the cops come every year. It's a good time. But all of a sudden I get a tappy on my shoulder and they're like, dude, you need to come in your garage right now. And they wouldn't tell me why. So I peek my head around, my pops is lighting up a joint, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna do this because this is probably gonna be my one. I still have a picture of the joint because I took a picture of it. So I always remember that I smoked this with my old man. And needless to say, it went around twice and then he went to bed. That's awesome, so I asked him the next day how it was, and he's like, dude, the stuff we had back in the day, I could tolerate that. The stuff you guys do today, I can't tolerate that.
Yeah, I like when you go into a place and they're like, "Ooh, and this now," and I'm like, "Bro, I'm still recovering from how much it went up last time. Can't we slow down once in a while?" But no, I get it. It's nice though, because then usually you just can smoke even a little less. So I don't have a problem putting it out and reusing it. Other than every other time, I drop about a quarter of the shit that's packed in there because I'm a putz. But tablespoon of infused MCT oil every morning. That's what's up. Christy says, I remodeled my house stone. I come up with some pretty crazy cool ideas, right? I'm telling you, when you're not stoned, it's always
Right.
like, oh, that would be cool, but I shouldn't do that. You know, like we just kind of like play the safe route. Where that's what I love about cannabis. You can, like, I could easily redo a room stoned and be cool with it. Where if I'm not stoned, I'm like, well, we'd have to go buy this, buy that. Like, I don't know. It just really opens up the creativity for me too. Snooch.
Like if I'm out in nature, oh my god, the creativity with my camera, if I just take a little rip off of a pre-roll, oh my god, it just you're everything just heightens, your senses heighten. You're one with nature when you're out, when you're out there.
Sure. No, I believe it, dude. Derek got infused beef jerky, bro. What? I can't. That's not good for me. That's not
I
something I
would get
can mess with.
fat.
Fatter. I would get fatter. That's definitely not good. William says my dad was dying of cancer, and I gave him a joint to try and get his appetite going, but didn't tell him to take a couple hits. And he was used to smoking cigarettes, so he smoked the whole thing and got so high he couldn't eat. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Um, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I did not realize it's 8:43, which
Yeah, we
doesn't
just been
sound.
bullshit.
I know, dude, which doesn't sound that late, but I do have to pack because I got to speak to the senators tomorrow, which is like today wasn't work, even though I got, a lot of phone calls. I super appreciate you driving, bro. So I was able to try to get some of that out of the way. Again, it's all good stuff because we're trying to make all the connections we can so we can navigate this thing as efficient as we can because we have to be right. It's if they decide it's going legal tomorrow, that's when we're almost in a panic because now we got to make sure that the laws are done right.
Right.
Which again, we can't just vote on a ballot anymore. So it's gonna be a journey, guys. We appreciate all the support. Keep making the connections. Keep talking about cannabis. Keep talking about adult responsible use. Keep reminding people we don't have to just settle for the first thing they show us. Even if something happens with the AGARDS bill, maybe it's not perfect. We need to still look everything over. And just because they say this is what we're doing doesn't mean we can't try contacting them and doing everything we can to change that. Um, and that's just a fact. So, oh, also real quick, Tammy, I appreciate you saying thank you, but please know everybody, Higher Love, they had the promo codes they thought they set for all the stores, but they didn't. Super apologize. If you went there and they hadn't accepted the promo code yet, please send me a message because they want your information. They're going to make it right. The code will be active at every location come tomorrow morning, and you'll be able to place your order for pickup too. That's finally been fixed. So apologize. Obviously, nothing was done on purpose there. And the fact that they want to make it right, I think, is awesome. So please let me know if you had any issues with that. Apologize. This was the first podcast they sponsored too, so it's cool. We're all learning, and it's we're gonna take care of each other. That's just how we work. Definitely would have to try it. Says Derek. Say travel safe. Thank you. Appreciate that, Danny. Thanks, Jill. Appreciate everybody who stopped out. Again, please let me know if you got any places that we can take care of with our establishments to hold the concerts. Try to get that rolling this week. Bro, could you imagine a Shopko?
That'd be cool. I was thinking about that too. Just a big old abandoned building with electricity. I'm in.
If you
Like
know anyone
that
with,
could be really intense.
what if we could? I don't know how this would work. I feel like there's a family video everywhere, bro. Just sitting there. Who owns that?
Yeah, I
Why
don't
do they
know.
just sit there? They're in good location. Bro, that's where you put a fucking dispensary. Most of those are on street corners or right next to a
Yeah,
gas
and they
station.
have good parking lots and they're nice big open spaces. Yeah.
Bro, we should take that idea off the internet and fucking go talk to Mr. Video. Damn, never thought of that. Why else would you be holding all that?
Yeah,
Like, I don't
man.
think I've seen one converted into anything.
I know the one in Sheboygan's on like a Marco's Pizza now or something like that, but yeah, I
But it's
don't
just
know
a
what
little
most of
section
those
of it, right?
buildings. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to it. It's not
Hmm.
something I buy.
Interesting.
I'll look at it.
But anyways, appreciate it, Chrissy. Thanks everybody, Tammy. Appreciate all your guys' support. Gonna be a fun day tomorrow. Watch for my demeanor. Fuck, I forgot about that. You'll be able to tell if tomorrow goes good. There's some really big shit about to go down. Super excited. Hope no politicians are watching because I don't know. They get all weird by that. I bet I would if I were them. Oh my god. Manitowoc has a few rundown businesses. We looked at one for a studio, but it was pricey. Yeah, it's almost like he's pricing them high on purpose because everyone I've talked to said they're way too expensive. Are the Blockbuster trademarks of it? That's a good question. All right,
Right.
so we need to get rolling, or we would just sit here and kick it with you guys all night. Super appreciate you guys. Love you. Please make sure you're spreading the love. And again, just keep showing it to these people who think that people who use cannabis are bad people. Man, that just fuels me to be even a better person because I want to break that stereotype. So, um, I've been doing a lot. Like when you're at the bar, you don't have to give $100 to make somebody's day, but if you usually give 5 or 10, and you slip them a 20, bro, that's hooking it up, and they see that, and it just reminds us that we're all in this together, this crazy thing called life. So, take care of each other. Love you guys. We'll be in touch. I will see you Wednesday with Maddie, who's got a really awesome story to share with us. So, appreciate you stopping out with us, Snake Eyes. Appreciate your time today. Appreciate
Of
everything you do
course.
for us, man.
Always.
Catch you guys later.